They call it hustle. But here's the truth. Hustle comes with a price tag. A Gallup study found that nearly 3 out of 4 employees feel burned out at least sometimes. And those who push the hardest are 63% more likely to take a sick day and 23% more likely to land in the ER. Hustle can open doors, but if you're not careful, it can also lock you into exhaustion. Stay with me, because at the end, I'll share a bonus tip about the hidden cost of hustle that almost no one talks about, and how to break free without losing your ambition. And before we dive in, if hustle has left you drained and stretched too thin, I created something just for you. It's a short guide called The Edge of Enough. Inside are 5 simple shifts to help you step back from the grind, rebuild your energy, and design a life with breathing room. You can grab it right now. The link is in the description. Welcome to Guts to Grace, where courage meets change. I'm Jane, and here we explore what it takes to face uncertainty with guts and how to find grace in the middle of it. No matter what you're facing, guts light the way, and grace steadies the path. Hustle promises wealth. The harder you work, the more you should earn. At least that's the story we're told. But the numbers don't always agree. Research from the International Labor Organization shows that people working more than 55 hours a week actually face declining productivity compared to those working more moderate hours. In other words, the extra grind doesn't always lead to extra gain. Instead, it often leads to wasted time, missed opportunities, and mistakes that cost even more to fix. And it's not just productivity. Hustle culture pushes many into what economists call the illusion of wealth. You might earn more on paper, but you're also more likely to rely on quick fixes, takeout meals, higher childcare costs, and stress-driven spending. Studies show that workers under extreme stress spend up to 20% more on convenience purchases than their less stressed peers. The hidden result? Hustle leaves your wallet thinner than you realize. Then there's debt. Overwork often drives people to chase symbols of success. The bigger car, the nicer home, the luxury vacation, even if it means borrowing to keep up. Financial planners warn that these patterns are among the biggest reasons high-income professionals still live paycheck to paycheck. Now, hustle isn't all bad. There are seasons in life when working harder than usual builds momentum and opens doors. But when hustle becomes a lifestyle instead of a strategy, it rarely leads to freedom. More often, it traps you in a cycle of earning more but keeping less. If the financial costs of hustle are hidden, the health costs are even more dangerous, because they can be invisible, or worse, ignored until it's too late. The World Health Organization estimates that working 55 plus hours a week increases your risk of stroke by 35% and heart disease by 17%. That's not just stress you can walk off. Those are life-threatening numbers. Sleep deprivation is another silent tax. According to the CDC, 1 in 3 adults isn't getting enough sleep, and hustle culture is a big reason why. Studies link chronic sleep loss to memory decline, weakened immunity, and even higher accident rates. That's why shift workers and entrepreneurs who skimp on rest often end up paying the price in hospital bills or burnout leave. And then there's cortisol, the stress hormone. Hustle keeps cortisol levels high, which over time leads to weight gain, anxiety, and even impaired brain function. Neuroscientists have found that chronic stress literally shrinks the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory and emotional regulation. In other words, the grind can rewire your brain against you. Now, hustle can sometimes feel like discipline. Waking up early to push toward a goal can build resilience and pride. But the line between discipline and damage is thin. And once crossed, the hustle that was meant to empower you can slowly dismantle you. If you're feeling the wear and tear of hustle on your body or mind, you don't have to keep running on empty. I put together a free guide called The Edge of Enough. It's designed to help you shift from burnout to balance. Inside are 5 practical changes that restore your energy and give you back the margin you've been missing. It's waiting for you right now. The link is in the description. Hustle doesn't just drain your bank account or your body, it strains your connections too. Sociologists call it time poverty, the feeling of never having enough hours in the day. A Harvard study found that people who felt time poor reported lower levels of happiness, less physical activity, and weaker relationships. And it's not surprising. When hustle consumes your calendar, the people closest to you often get what's left over, and sometimes nothing at all. Research backs this up. Employees who consistently work overtime report twice the risk of divorce compared to those with more balanced schedules. And a 2018 global survey by Cigna found that half of adults feel lonely, with overwork cited as a major contributor. In short, hustle can make you wealthier or more successful on paper, but lonelier in practice. Now here's the balance. Hustle can also be a way of providing. Many people throw themselves into long hours, not because they don't care about their families, but because they want to create better opportunities for them. For some, the grind builds a legacy. The college fund, the home, the small business that becomes a family asset. In the right season, hustle can reflect love as much as ambition. But here's the tension. The very tool meant to serve your loved ones can quietly erode your presence with them. Picture this: a parent racing home from the office just in time to kiss their child goodnight. Laptop still buzzing in the bag, unread emails stacked high. They're providing, yes, but they're missing the recital, the inside jokes, the unrepeatable moments that make relationships thrive. That's the trade-off hustle rarely advertises. And it's the point where we start to move from statistics into something more raw, more personal. Because the deepest costs of hustle aren't always financial or physical, they're emotional. Let me step out of the stats for a moment and just talk to you, one-on-one. Hustle isn't the enemy. In fact, it's played a powerful role in my own life. Hustle has helped me break through walls that fear tried to build. It's given me opportunities I never thought I'd have. And maybe you can say the same. Maybe hustle has helped you get through school, launch a business, or provide for people you love. But here's the part I don't hear us talk about enough. Hustle has limits. It can build, but it can also break. It can carry you far, but it can't carry everything. When we make hustle the only story, we start to lose sight of who we are outside of achievement. We forget what it feels like to laugh without checking the clock. We lose the small, ordinary joys that make life feel full. And in chasing success, sometimes we forget to define what enough actually means. So let me ask you this, and I really want you to pause and think about it. If all your hustle paid off tomorrow, what would enough look like? Not perfect, not endless, just enough. For some, enough means having the energy to sit down for dinner with family and actually taste the food. For others, it means breathing room, a little space in the day that isn't scheduled, where creativity or rest can sneak in. And maybe for you, enough is simply knowing that you are more than what you produce. That's why guts and grace belong together. Guts push us forward, but grace reminds us when to stop. Guts drive us to work hard for the future, but grace teaches us to live fully in the present. Hustle can be part of a successful life, but without balance, it leaves us running on empty, never noticing the magic of enough. Here's that bonus I promised at the start. The real cost of hustle isn't just measured in money, health, or even relationships. It's measured in trust in yourself. When you're locked into hustle, you learn to only value yourself when you're producing. But when you step back, even just a little, you begin to rebuild trust that you're valuable because of who you are, not just what you do. That shift is subtle, but it's everything. Because once you trust that you're enough, hustle becomes a tool, not a prison. So I want to hear from you. Where has hustle helped you in life? And where has it taken more than it gave? Share your thoughts in the comments. You never know who might read your words and feel a little less alone. And don't stop here. The next video is waiting for you right on your screen. It's the natural next step in learning how to balance drive with rest. And when you pair it with today's reflection, you'll see a clearer picture of how to build success without losing yourself along the way. This is Jane with Guts to Grace. Thanks for spending time with me today. I love knowing that we're figuring this out together, step by step. Remember that every step takes guts, and every journey is sustained by grace. Because sometimes enough is exactly where the magic lives. I'll see you in the next video.